This will be 5 5-minute rounds, and it is for the vacant flyweight TXC title. Referee in charge of tonight's action, we have Vance Swearden. Judges, Rose Gross, Dan Holliday, and Morrell. Physicians, Dr. Cross and Dr. Samet. Timekeepers, Don Graschuk and Leanne Shaney. Inspector in charge, Jesse Lopez, and Department Rep, Linda Douglas. First up, making his way to the cage, fighting out of the red corner. Put your hands together for Josh Shortstag Robinson!
Josh Robinson making his way into this TXC cage via Toledo. Josh, a very accomplished mixed martial artist, grappler in particular. 9-9 as a professional MMA fighter. Representing Michigan top team here today. See Josh a lot around the mixed martial arts circuit on an amateur level as a referee, giving back when he can, what he can. An outstanding young man, although 29 years old at this point, probably not excited about being called a young man, but what hair I have left is gray, so they're all young men anymore. It's been a while since I've had the honor and privilege of being cage side. Josh Robinson in the cage fighting, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him tonight.
And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. Put your hands together for Nate Teddy Bear Williams.
Nate Williams making his way to this TXC cage by way of Des Moines, Iowa. And the numbers today for Des Moines, for Iowa in general, on our live broadcast, off the chart. Big shout out to everybody supporting Nate Williams via our live broadcast. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for giving us the opportunity to see this young man fight. (23-13) as a mixed martial artist. 11 pro titles. This is a man that is no stranger to competition at a very high level. And to be able to come a couple states over and do it again before a hostile crowd takes a special kind of individual, so we're very honored to have him here tonight. Taking a lot of time getting himself in the cage, and with his level of seasoning and experience, I gotta wonder if part of that's intentional. Try to cool off Josh Shortstack Robinson a little bit. And into the cage he comes.
fans, this is for the TXC Flyweight title that is brought to you by CaveRadioBroadcasting.com. To my left, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed 126 pounds, stands 5 foot 3 inches tall. He comes to us with a record of 9-9. He trains at a Michigan Top Team and Demolition. Once again, put your hands together for Josh Shortstack Robinson. And to my right, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed 123 pounds, stands 5 foot 1 inch tall. He comes to us with a veteran record of 23 wins, 13 losses. He represents Round Kick Gym and Team Hard Drive. Team Hard Drive, put your hands together for Nate Teddy Bear Williams. This will be 5 5-minute rounds, and your referee in charge is Vance Swearden.
Okay, guys, this fight is for the vacant flyweight title. Going over the rules. Do I have any questions from the red corner? Any from the blue corner? Touch gloves here. Come out fighting.
All right, fight fans, line it up out there.
All right, fight fans, this TXC Flyweight Championship bout about to get underway. Josh Shortstack Robinson fighting out of the red corner in the compression shorts. Nate Williams fighting out of the blue corner, black and white shorts.
Now again, another matchup where they've seen each other before. Nate coming out on the W side of things. And we'll see if things have turned around. You know, how these guys have so many fights. I was asking Nate, I mean, you have so many fights. He started in 2009. Because to be this weight, it's tricky to find guys.
You know, Josh Robinson, very accomplished grappler. If he stays standing, he hasn't fared always so well that route, you know. So I got to imagine he's going to want to try to get it to the ground. But Nate Williams, he doesn't like to go to the ground.
As he's looking to take him down.
Beautiful takedown.
They're here to keep you guessing, Steve. I like the lightweights too because they're so fast. I mean, they're so busy.
Well, you know, I only had a chance to watch a little bit of film on Nate before this fight coming to us from Iowa, so I'm sure I don't have the full flavor of it. He's doing a good job of trying not to get himself choked out there, but Josh Robinson is a very accomplished grappler. And I would be surprised if Nate Williams can come out on top of this in a grappling match.
Well, unfortunately, you know, with the stand-up side of things, Robinson has the height advantage if he can use his reach.
Well, he did a good job of fighting off that left hand, keeping that choke from coming up tight, and now just continually pushing the takedown attempt there. Josh Robinson using his height and cage savvy to keep himself from getting dumped on his back. But he's in a lot of trouble now because he doesn't have an underhook established. All he can do is try to rip the chin and just couldn't get underneath there immediately.
And from the bottom, dropping elbows is Josh Robinson.
Josh with a nice arm lock attempt from the outside. He needs to roll that elbow over, get it pointed towards the ceiling and keep it straight.
Pulling it back out, we have Nate Williams and a lot of people watching from Iowa, as you mentioned.
That was an outstanding submission attempt.
And that's why I was excited to see these guys. I mean, these are veterans that have been doing this for a long time. They're going to see a lot of technical aspects that maybe people with more shallow records you won't see.
Well, Nate Williams doing a good job of staying composed and just being really methodical about how he's working for that pass. He's got his name tattooed on his back there in case he forgets who he is or gets lost. They can get him home.
Well, it's an ink war between the two of them. Tattoos everywhere, calves and all. When you're short like that, you run out of space quick.
Josh Robinson trying to get up to the back, his back against the cage so he can stand up. Nate Williams is doing a great job of keeping him pinned there. You know, Nate's doing a good job winning the war of attrition here, keeping this nice and tight and up against the side of the cage, but not really scoring. And just as I say that, able to bring a few fists down, Kara.
He's just constantly trying to prove you're wrong.
Well, I'm going to be a half a step behind him right now, it seems. So,
well, those lighter weights are quick, right?
Absolutely. I'm comfortable with that. You know, it's getting up past my bedtime, so old man that I am.
Oh, a nice space that Josh was able to create to drop that elbow.
Josh does a good job being aggressive off of his back there. Now looking to rip the chin, to try to maybe set up a sweep or something, or at least get Nate Williams a little loose.
You know, it's actually better for those watching at cagefightinglive.com for the angles. I mean, for people in the crowd,
Nice
it's
transition
tricky.
into an armbar attempt, but doing a good job of keeping everything stacked nice and tight. Nate Williams. Now, rolled it through nicely.
Nice.
Now, normally he would have wanted to turn out the back door and go belly down to finish that armbar, but up against the side of the cage, that was impossible. He did a good job of rolling it and coming out on the back of Nate Williams. Normally, I'd say a guy got Josh Robinson on his back's in a lot of trouble, but Nate's already showed himself to be a very composed and savvy technician on the ground here.
Yeah, he's really relaxed, too, and that's helping him tremendously. But Josh does look for more damage.
Josh now trying to bring that arm across.
He's trying to get that body lock, but no, prevented.
Well, you know what? And there's the cage savvy
exactly.
of Nate Williams, seeing those hooks a little low and crossed initially and bringing his own shin across there. I really like this kid. I wish we could see more of him.
I know. That's why either one of them would be a great representation for the TXC Flyweight title.
Again, Josh now trying to maintain back control there. 10 seconds, short time. I'll tell you what, I'm often critical of judges, but I do not envy him this position. Oh, a little too late. Josh Robinson turning into a nice head and arm choke.
But did you see the experience of Nate Williams? Instantly knew he was in a bit of trouble, but gave the thumbs up to Vance Swearden, knowing that, you know, the time was running short and he was going to be able to make it through.
He immediately got that elbow up nice and high, too, to take the shoulder off of the neck. So it would have been a lot of work for Josh to finish that choke. Certainly would have taken a lot more time than the very short couple of seconds he had left.
Right. I mean, that was an exciting first round. I mean, it's a little bit trickier when you're here at the Macomb Music Theater just because of where that fight took place, you know, up against the cage here, not in the center. But luckily the big overhead camera is catching everything, and for those watching overseas as well, all over the place, Iowa.
Here's the million-dollar question, Kara Rowe. How do you score that first round?
Oh, I hate that question. You know, I think I'd have to say that Nate was more savvy, but Josh did more damage. You know, he was looking for the elbows, he was looking for the punches. I think we're going to have to wait and give it more time to determine.
See, I got it a little different. I think it was brutally close, and I'm a big fan of Josh Robinson's, but I think Nate Williams edged it out.
Well, because you like some of the stuff he pulled off. Oh, swinging wild. You can't swing all the way across your body because it spins you around, and you're not ready to fire back or play defense at all.
Again, we got a guy.
Oh, straight right down the pipe from Josh Robinson.
We got a guy with a big reach advantage, closing the distance for the shorter opponent.
And that's the thing. You have to be able to throw your punches and get back out, not fall in and then give the other guy the advantage.
Josh Robinson now trying to stay on his feet, doing a good job and not letting himself get sucked down to the canvas here, where he would immediately wind up with a backpack of about 123.8 pounds.
And working those quads, you see Nate bringing the knees up the side. You know, and those are the investment things. You got the early rounds, you want to play the investment game.
Excellent wrestling by Josh Robinson there, Josh Robinson pulling that around, but immediately being countered in this technical war by Nate Williams from Des Moines, Iowa. You folks in Iowa watching, you got a lot to be proud of in this cat.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
He's representing himself, his camp, and Iowa very well.
Well, coming in with 36 fights. I mean, that is a lot of professional fights.
Josh with an equipment failure.
Yeah,
that's part of the problem of wearing Speedos.
You're just jealous because you can't get any on anymore.
Oh, I can get them on. You just don't want to see the.
It's like Bo-Rat.
Oh my God! Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
looks
a little
like
bit
a bad day on the
flat-footed.
French Riviera.
Oh, true. A very bad day. Josh
Nice
Robinson,
counter.
it'd be better to be, on his toes so he can get out quickly. You know, you don't want to have Nate Williams close that gap again.
Well, he's settling in a little bit here, Kara, doing a better job of standing in there, picking his shots and countering well.
Yeah, and he's got to follow with a punch. I mean, he's opening up Nate very well with that leg kick. He's got to drop that 2 down the pipe. He's got
a big heavy
head
kick.
And that's what you want. You want that head kick, but you got to jump on a man. I mean, people give fighters too much time to recover after a big shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think he did some substantial damage there because Nate Williams is looking to get in, or at least he was in grapple while he recovered.
But that's what I'm saying. You cannot land a shot like that and not jump on your opponent. You've got to take advantage of that little bit of daze that they have. Shoots by see the sprawl of Josh Robinson.
Josh now doing a real good job of getting settled in here, coming out of that first round. Looking to work the front headlock. Going to try to come around the side here. Did just a great job of working that around.
And
that's that wrestling
knee.
and grappling experience of his. Got to be careful. He got himself in trouble with sloppy hooks last time.
Dropping the elbows. And again, he's always looking for damage. That's the difference.
He's doing it. Yeah, got to be careful. Doesn't get rolled through. Looking for the leg attack there.
And some
Nate
of these
Williams,
shots
but
are so hard.
Josh Robinson just doing an outstanding job of riding that ball around there, not getting himself in trouble. A lot of guys would have wound up on the wrong end of that, having to defend leg attacks now. These guys playing chess at a very high level. Used to have a judo coach who used to joke that good judo is like a ballroom dance where you get to slam the guy on his head at the end. And these guys playing chess the same way.
I mean, he's really kind of stymieing Nate because of the constant pressure of the leather that he's dropping on his head.
Just content to sit with one hook there, nice and tight against the small of the back, and score with leather until he can get the opportunity to put that right hook in and maybe bring it around.
And how draining is this that Nate's carrying him? How difficult is that, or is it he's
Nate's
crunched low enough?
Very efficient in his movements right here. He's not working any harder than Josh Robinson is at this point. Nate doing a good job. Oh, looking to set up that arm triangle again. Nate absolutely able to come around and now coming around himself.
Slippery. That's what.
I'll tell you what, Josh Robinson getting that whizzer in at the last possible moment to not give up his own back. These guys very, very technical, very accomplished.
It's a perfect matchup. It's unbelievable.
I got to tell you, I hope these judges are able to score this. I hope they know what they're seeing here, because this is A+, looking for a Kimura roll here. Josh Robinson again coming around on the back. The one thing that Nate Williams hasn't been able to do is to stop that transition from the front headlock to back control of Josh Robinson.
10 seconds in round number 2, and these guys, I mean, given a show, 5 rounds total. 3 to go after this, but they both look pretty fresh. I mean,
both of these guys rode out
shape.
that 10-second clock. Josh Robinson looked like he was playing patty cake there, and then Nate with the double fisted over his head.
Yeah, Josh didn't even feel the need to send a message going into the 3rd round. You know, he did enough in that round.
Well, 3rd round of 5. At this point on my card, they'd be 1-1.
Very possible that they're 1-1. You know, what a great fight so far for the flyweight TXC title. Des Moines, Iowa, yeah. I fought there, actually. I fought on Fox there. We rode out there, and I just remember being exhausted. Yeah. It was a great
17-0, Holmes. KO row.
No, it was a good time out there, though.
Yeah, I may bring the good looks, but she brings the athleticism and technical accomplishment. 17-0 is a pro for you. Those of you who are watching from Des Moines and wherever else who aren't familiar with TXC.
Man, what a great fight. I mean, I knew yesterday when I talked to them, they were the most veteran of all the fighters on the TXC card. And looking forward to this 3rd round. This is 3 out of 5 for this TXC title, for the flyweight title. And we have out of the red corner, Josh Robinson in the compression shorts and Nate Williams in the black and white trunks. Oh, a nice, sneaky little right hand down the pipe. And this is where Josh can just keep his range.
And he's found his range.
He's found it, but he has a tendency to fall in and then get smothered. He doesn't react after, and that's where he's got to do a little defense afterwards. Keep that head movement, find those angles, just keep pot-shotting from out there. And you see Nate Williams, a little sneaky smile off of that.
Nate Williams at this point.
Oh, little overhand right, and then plays defense after and gets underneath that hook of Josh Robinson.
But did you see the spinning hook kick of Josh Robinson's to keep the range?
You know, and that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see these guys on the outside. I mean, because they know what they're doing. The defensive moves are sweet. The only problem with Nate is he swings all the way through his punches and spins himself around. You've got to be able to stop. If you miss, then you can bring your shoulder back for the next punch.
Well, it's nice too, Carol. We finally got a legitimate contender for fight of the night.
Yeah, for sure. Nice low leg kick. Oh, no, and you just can't. I wouldn't with Josh just stop on the side of the cage. Belly up the center.
Josh hit him with that knee on the elbows and then threw about 6 punches that hit him on the arms. Looked fantastic. Didn't cause any damage.
No, I think he got a low blow here. One of those knees, I might have went low. I'm not sure. You know, he did bring a knee right to the belly of Nate Williams, and then followed it up with another one that looks a little lower. I mean, it is hard to see.
Well, and the sneaky corner over there, this is like WWE. Vance Swearden bringing Josh Robinson over to the neutral corner, and the corner of Nate Williams sliding over to the other neutral corner, giving him some advice there.
If it was like WWE, it'd be sweet, because then you could just tag your partner in. I need a break.
Well, I'll tell you what, Vance been around a long, long time.
He knows all the tricks. I don't think so.
Well, he just went and talked to each of the judges.
Vance, did you take the chance?
Maybe just tell him it was an, you know, that it was giving
here's
him a medical
replay
timeout.
of it. We'll get a chance to see that right now. And there was a knee to the belly and then followed up.
Well, this is before the clinch. Now here's the clinch where he hits that little inside leg sweep in just a second. Right there.
Oh, that one looked up the center. Yeah, that was it. That's where he was. And Vance saw it right away. Okay, here we are. We're ready to jump back in, finishing up round 3. We're probably about a minute in.
Lots of sportsmanship from these guys, too.
Yeah.
Look at this.
They're
I
veterans.
love this sport.
When you see stuff like this, yeah. Oh, Josh putting his hands together well. But, you know, Nate looked at the floor when he was on defense. That's why you can't come back up and fire.
I'm sorry, did you see that? Now that's a guy with 30 fights in the cage.
I know.
He pushes himself into the cage and then uses it to launch a low kick.
You know, Nate's doing what he feels he has to do. You know, he puts his head down and swings with that overhand right, but he can double jab his way in. I mean, you just got to make it fast. Now Josh Robinson standing as a southpaw. That's where you don't want to come in with that jab on that taller opponent.
Well, what Josh has to be careful of is letting this pace slow a little, where Nate Williams can get his confidence back, because he's brutal when he's confident.
Oh, for sure. And he's got so many tricks up his sleeve.
Again, I can't say how excited I am to finally see Josh Robinson in the cage again here where I can watch.
Wow! A massive slam.
Body lock and then just outside hook that leg and drove him straight to the ground.
Josh Robinson on the top of things right now.
Doing a good job keeping control nice and tight.
And firing from the bottom, Nate Williams, but returning fire, Josh Robinson. He's loving dropping those elbows.
Well, Josh has a lot of respect for this ground game of Nate Williams. That's why he's not trying to establish some separation so quick. Wants to keep his hips nice and tight and try to take away some of the mobility before looking for some leather.
And trying to keep him up against the cage. Oh, and he's got...
Nate Williams is like, dude, I got all 4 points down. With both hands down.
He almost had 5. He must put his head down, too.
It's like he was playing patty cake with the canvas.
Yeah.
Now here Josh has done a real good job earlier in this fight with the front headlock and using that to establish back control, but then not able to do anything once he gets it.
He's looking to crank out there.
Looking to set it up, turn it into sort of a modified jaw lock guillotine there.
Oh, he's popping out, but still up against cage. Oh, knee to the belly again from the seated position.
You're seeing a lot more of that as guys figure that out, and it's just brutal to get kneed from that position because you're already compact. You can't take a full breath,
right?
And then you get clocked right in the sternum. Again, Josh Robinson looking to take the back, but only one hook. Passing back into the mount there on the side of the cage. I don't want to do MMA for radio, but Josh now both hooks in and one popping out. And that's Nate Williams is doing a good job of not letting him establish his hooks.
He's great at that. Yeah, that's where you can see the experience coming in.
This guy's so savvy on the ground. The tide of the fight, though, Kara, turning a little bit the last couple of rounds. You can see Josh getting more and more comfortable and establishing more and more dominance.
He almost, the way they're fighting, he almost seems like the bigger fighter. You know, he's a guy that puts on and carries more weight day to day.
Well, they both say they walk around at 155 pounds. But Josh looks every bit of 155 when we've seen him ref before.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it looks like he had to cut his hair to make weight because usually his hair's not quite that short. 10 seconds. We're going to go into the money rounds here, the championship rounds.
And you see where Nate just relaxes when he hears the 10 seconds, even if he's in a compromised position.
Thumbs up. Vance Swearden seen that choke a lot of times, but Nate does such a good job of letting his elbow slip past his ear, which again removes that shoulder from the side of the neck. And then when he knows the ref is close and looking, he's giving him the thumbs up and telling him, hey, everything's fine.
Well, Nate, I mean, the look of frustration when he walked over to his corner, you know, he feels that he can't figure out Josh Robinson.
Well, because he can't. The
and he knows it.
Round,
you know, you don't even want to know it. When you're fighting, when you're in there, you don't want to get to that point where you go, I can't figure this guy out. You know, that's when you almost feel defeated. Your corner really has to step up. This is where your corner plays the most crucial role, is to get your confidence back and get you to establish a new game plan to go into that next round.
Nate Williams was on very solid ground that first round.
Yep.
And you've watched it get slipperier and softer as these 2 rounds have gone on. And he just, you're right, he's stymied. And Josh Robinson trying to get this local crowd into this fight, but Josh coming from Toledo, I don't think he can count on the 12th man out here in Mount Clemens, Michigan.
All right.
Did you get that reference?
I did.
All right.
Here we go. This is round number 4.
Round 4 into the championship rounds here in this TXC Flyweight Championship fight.
And back as a southpaw, we're seeing Nate, and he needs to just drop that overhand left. He's got to look for something big.
Now this time, Josh able to absolutely smother that and wind up real solid position here in half guard with the knee nice and high.
You know, Josh does all the sneaky things that a vet does. You know, the pops the shoulder to try and create some separation and be able to move a little bit.
But you can see right now Josh Robinson with that right shoulder driving deep into the chin, and Nate Williams getting very, very heavy there. And when he turns that head to the right of Nate Williams, Nate can't get any strength to get anything moving. He's got him biomechanically completely offline there. Both of these guys just looking for position here. And like many high-level grappling matches, it tends to start to look a little stagnant because these guys are absolutely playing for an inch here and an inch there.
Right. But I mean, this is the kind of stuff you can appreciate because you are seeing that high level. And even if you don't really know what you're watching, you can tell how calculated everything is.
Josh very methodical, trying to come into a mount. And watch if he manages to slide into a mount. The couple times he's made that transition before, that right arm of Nate Williams has crossed over the center line, and Josh was able to set up.
You got to watch. You can't give Nate any room. I mean, if you give him a little inch, he's able to make a change in what's going on. Nate looks a little fatigued right now. You know, his body his mind is still sharp in there, but I can tell his body's not cooperating exactly with what he wants to do.
This guy's such a veteran, though. He's about to get slammed in the guard, and he just opened his guard and stood up.
Yeah. Good jab and keeping it long by Josh Robinson. He's got to follow it with that right hand. That's your money shot against the southpaw.
And he needs to start attacking that lead leg.
Unfortunately, Nate threw that leg kick, but then stood there. He's got to, you know, start moving after. He's going to just get pieced up from the outside.
Nate Williams is so fatigued here as we go into this 4th round.
But you can see, you know, the heart in him, that he's just, his face is still into it.
And here are the dividends you spoke about before. Those low kicks now absolutely taking their toll as we go into the money rounds here.
You got to make those investments early, and then that's what you start to see, a fatigued fighter across the cage from you. And Josh knows it. He knows that Nate is trying to dig deep to get him.
Well, he's going to sit here and pot shot him instead of doing what was working. See how committed Williams is to that lead leg. Josh needs to just keep chopping away at it.
And my concern is just Nate is so tired of just not playing defense after he throws.
You had criticized Nate before for throwing his punches across his body. He did the same thing there with his kick, and that's why he's given up his back. Josh looked like he was going to set up there Marcelo Garcia style and just chop the knees out with both heels, instead deciding to drive him forward. Look at the beautiful transition rolling through for a heel hook attempt there from Nate Williams, but he just didn't have anything to commit to it, Kara.
No, and it just, Josh Robinson seems to continuing his domination since, for the last 2 rounds.
Now, you had asked earlier about how exhausting it is. When you're in a cross-body ride like this with a guy who is as solid a grappler as Josh Robinson is, that gets exhausting because he gets so heavy, it gets tough to breathe. Looking to come out the side here. Real nice transition, though, turning it into a nice scramble. High hips win these battles. Josh Robinson keeping his hips higher with that whizzer there.
But, Nate Williams is so talented and so crafty that he prevents a lot of things that could be happening to him.
Absolutely. There are plenty of guys who would have been in the locker room already talking about how they almost could have done something.
Right.
Especially against a grappler of Josh Robinson's quality. Again with the front headlock now, trying to turn it through.
But I think that, his corner told him he was only about 15 seconds. So I saw him just relax knowing that he wasn't in severe danger.
Both of these guys, savvy veterans, when they know that it's short time, they start their recovery at the end of the round.
Completely. It's a good point. Yeah, they get that extra minute and a little bit.
Again, Josh looking right now into a full mount. Need to crawl it to the side of the cage and score while he can. Oh, nice.
There's that 10 seconds.
Posted up and then drove that knee right into the xiphoid process area below the sternum.
And, here Nate heard that, 10-second bell and just started that relaxation.
Well, Josh made him pay for that. He dropped the knee right into the ribs on his back.
Josh probably a little bit surprised at some of the moves. He's probably been able to finish guys from some of the positions he's been in with submissions, but it's just Nate Williams so crafty. But probably we're sitting at 3 rounds to 1 for Josh Robinson.
Oh, if
you're
in the
never
corner
know.
Nate Williams, you got to tell him he's got to stop this fight. He can't let it go to the cards. And good luck.
You might as well go for broke.
He's not doing it on his feet. What he's got to do is just start stringing those submissions attempts together. And the only thing Josh Robinson has shown any susceptibility to are those leg attacks. When Nate Williams gives up his back or winds up in side control where he's on his knees, he rolls through really well to attack the foot and ankle.
I think what Nate really should do is when Josh throws a punch, attack him. Throw those overhand rights, but just don't swing all the way through. But obviously I'm a stand-up person, right? So that's what I would like to see. Just don't swing all the way through his punches. He'd have much more success. Because Josh is throwing a lot of times one shot at a time, maybe one jab, and he just stands there. He doesn't even play defense, just stands there. So we'll see if these guys pick things up for the 5th and final round. And that's the overhand right I'm talking about, overhand left. But closing the gap.
Nice deep shot, getting in there nice and tight, looking for the single leg. Nate Williams, but getting himself caught up in battling a taller opponent from a whizzer position. You can't win that battle. The higher hips always win, and when your legs are 6 inches shorter than the other guys,
right,
that's a real tough battle to win. Josh now looking to use his left leg to open up the knees and pull that right leg out, and I don't understand why. As fatigued as Nate Williams is, just sit on his left thigh and start beating him up from the half guard. But that's the grappler in him.
You can hear the corner of Nate Williams saying, you got to go, you got to do something. I mean, you have to go for broke here. You got to figure something out.
Well, he's got to break that. There we go. Now let's see if Nate Williams is as good as reestablishing half of his guard as he is not giving up the hooks when he's got his back taken. Carrie, he is just so worn out.
He's worn out
fatigued.
Completely, yeah.
He's in a lot of trouble.
I mean, he's done a good job having an answer for the attempts
here's
of
that
Josh.
Here's that arm choke. Now, look, Josh is going to slide off to the side, slide down nice and deep.
But the difference is it's not 10 seconds left. This is the beginning of the round.
Lots of time. He needs to start winding the watch a little bit here to bring that elbow back across to get that chin nice and tight.
And what should Nate be doing?
Doing exactly what he's doing, keeping that elbow over his knee, making sure that shoulder doesn't settle into the throat there. And Josh realized that he was going to get just outmaneuvered in that little chess match and immediately stepped right back into a full mount.
Oh, those elbows, I mean.
And he's covering the mouth and nose.
Right, and he's dropping elbows from, with his whole upper body weight.
When he posts up for that elbow, he's covering the mouth and nose of Nate Williams, preventing him from breathing.
the muzzle.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you know, Josh has got to be careful that Nate doesn't get an equipment breather here. Both of the wraps on Josh's gloves are coming loose. And we might see a technical timeout here.
If I was Nate, I'd just start pulling that tape. Signaling to the ref.
Again, trying to roll through. Not looking for the leg this time, but doing a good job.
But you know what? Look at the energy. Like, it's almost like Josh has caught a second win, third win, fourth win. I mean, he just started to come on stronger and stronger.
Well, this is his game. Being on the ground, playing on the ground, that's exactly where he likes to be. And he's obviously highly accomplished at it. A couple NAGA championships under his belt. Just a solid grappler. Looking to set up a rubber guard from his back there.
You know,
Nate,
it's got to be trickier with,
right side, though.
With your limbs being a little shorter. You know, that's where the tall guys seem to have the advantage here.
A little bit, and you know, it looked like he was just trying to keep Josh from posting up more than try to transition into something from there. And
that's where Josh is just, again, it just looks like that fourth wind has kicked in for him. He has not looked fatigued through this fight.
Looking again for that sort of jaw lock, the chin rip neck crank. Looks like a guillotine, but it's not actually a choke. And both of these guys just now taking this time, conserve their energy, consolidate a little bit. But for Nate Williams, that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, I think he's just trying to mitigate any damage, you know, because Josh likes to drop that leather and some of those elbows from that position. What a great fight, though, for these guys at 126, the TXC Flyweight title.
This is a great matchup for a championship fight, Kara.
Right. Because, you know, if any other 126er came in here, they would have trouble with either of these guys. These guys are perfect contenders for this.
They're matched perfectly. The level of experience between both of them, too, just
right?
Phenomenal. I love all the little tricks Nate Williams has up his sleeve.
I mean, Josh is just still trying to throw a lot of damage. I think he's probably surprised that he's trying to fix his own equipment.
Yeah, that was really getting in the way there. 30 seconds left, Kara.
And again, taking another knee.
He's got to be careful that Nate Williams doesn't get desperate, roll through, and catch a leg on the way out. We've seen him try it a couple of times. You know, Josh really just, instead of trying to finish this, just sit here and ride it out. 10 seconds. That's exactly what's going to happen.
But
Josh Robinson now just content to step off. He knows he's got this fight won.
Yeah, he definitely
knows. What a title fight.
And, I mean, we saw it go after the second, third round. We saw the frustration of Nate Williams, and he just could not seem to put the puzzle pieces together. He could not figure out Josh Robinson.
And now that they get up off of the canvas, you can see that the effect of those elbows of Josh Robinson's open Nate up. You know, and Nate very frustrated with himself. You can see that here as he talks to his corner. But this guy can go home to Iowa with his head held high.
Oh, my gosh.
He fought an incredibly tough opponent and represented himself exceptionally well. Which
was awesome for us, too, to get to see this level. You know, get to see these guys, how crafty they are. Do you realize how many submission, you know, attempts that Josh made, but Nate was able to get out of because he's so crafty?
Every time we work a show and Josh is the referee, I always lament the fact that we don't get to see him enough in the cage. Now that he is the flyweight champion at TXC, I am guaranteed to be cage side for a couple more of his fights at the very least, and that's pretty exciting for an old man. Josh Robinson with an ice bag on his hand. All right, fight fans, waiting on the judges' tally here. If you're watching online, let's see some posts. Absolutely incredible and exciting fight.
Let's hear it for both of these fighters, giving you 5 rounds of war. Put your hands together. After 5 rounds of fighting for the TXC title, we go to the scorecards. Judge Gross and Judge Morales both score the bout 50 to 45, and Judge Holliday scores the bout 49 to 46. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision and new TXC Flyweight Champion, Josh Robinson! Josh, congratulations, 5 rounds. You know, you just seemed to frustrate Nate. He came out really strong in the first round. Talk to me about what you did differently to turn things around.
This fight was all about coming back and avenging a loss. I can't remember who said it, but someone the other day told me all belts do is hold your pants up. So I wasn't focusing on a belt, I just wanted to avenge a loss. Nate's a tough dude, and I knew he was going to grind it out for 5 rounds, and it's going to be tough to finish him. But once I heard I was fighting for the title, I busted my ass in the gym, and I got a lot of teams I train with and a lot of people that support me. And I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I thank all of you.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about your training leading up to this fight, knowing you had fought Nate before.
I knew he's a better wrestler than me, so I didn't expect to go 5 rounds on top. I've never had a fight where I dominated on top like that, so it's like a milestone for me to be able to train with such good camps out here and be comfortable being on top. When I used to get on top, I would just stand up and let him get up, and I'd work my striking. So I knew he was going to try to take me down, and I just, instead of trying to get away, I wanted to counter wrestle.
Well, it was great. It was a great display. I mean, he's a tough guy. Any submission you tried, he just was really crafty in there, but you definitely turned things around and dominated the fight. Who do you have to thank tonight, Josh?
Everybody. I can't even think right now. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if I was going to continue fighting after this. I was probably going to hang it up, and I was going to retire after this fight, but I just reignited a fire under my own ass just to show myself there's way more room for improvement, and I can be better.
Well, you did a great job and definitely proved to yourself as well, and everyone out here, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, once again, taking the flyweight TXC title, Josh Robinson.